Sports presents Benning Bites with Damon Benning. Benning Bites with Damon Benning.
It's another episode of Benning's Bites, and Podge, what to nibble on this morning. I tell you what I was chewing on when I went to bed last night. How inflated and overrated is a top 25 release of the college football playoffs? Holy smokes! Top 7, 8? Yeah, I think you guys care a ton. 10 through 25? Put them in a hat and shake them up. So what you ought to do, save yourself the ridicule, is just maybe go with the top 15, maybe top 12. Top 12, right? We'll figure the rest out later. They'll play their way into it. But man, do we need drama? Do we need intrigue? And do we need something to talk about it? So, what was it that I was nibbling on when I went to bed last night? Nah, wasn't some random donut in the old bed. I don't eat donuts, and I certainly don't eat in my room. But what I was nibbling on, is there really a ton of disrespect when it comes to TCU? That seemed to be the trendy narrative. Well, what about the Horned Frogs? But what about the Horned Frogs? Yeah, I don't know. I know strength of schedule. I know playing against ranked teams, but defensively, they're not very good. And I also know this. If they played Alabama tomorrow, Alabama would be favored by double digits. So, am I outraged? Absolutely not. Do I get kind of the Alabama love fest? A little. But listen, when I still look at current odds to win championships and I see the Crimson Tide in the top 4 of teams to win a national championship, yeah, I'm guessing people think they're pretty good. Now, listen, I'm well aware Vegas isn't the end all be all when it comes to looking at who's going to play for championships. If that was the case, they wouldn't have so many hotels and free buffets at Viva Las Vegas. But there's a reason that Ohio State is still a little less than 2-1, Georgia 2-1, and Bama at 3 plus 375, which is just a little less than 4-1, because you have to take a look at the road less traveled. That screams Ohio State, Georgia, and Clemson. Even Michigan, as good as I think they are, they still have to play in Columbus for this one, and they're 14-1. Vegas isn't saying to themselves, hey, you know what? Who's a really good team that stands a reasonably good chance to win a national championship that we could give some favorable public odds to? Yeah, I just don't think Vegas works like that. Now, do they make some mistakes? They absolutely do. But one mistake I don't think Vegas made was they're letting you know that even though Tennessee was ranked number 1 in the first top 25 CFB poll, they are a 9 to an 8.5 point underdog between the hedges on Saturday without Georgia's best pass rusher. So what are they telling you? Well, they're telling you that they think Georgia's pretty good and that this game is on the road. And if home field is worth 3 points, considering the schedule that Tennessee's already played, they're telling you they think Georgia is significantly better than Tennessee. And I would agree. I would lay the 8.5, 9, and laugh all the way down to the horseshoe and say, not to quote a famous movie, pay the man his money. That's what you got to do. Pay the man his money. Top 25, that's great for television. Top 15, I'd take you a lot more seriously. Do I understand the give and take of capturing eyeballs? Sure. If I'm mad at my TCU, nah. I still got a pretty tough schedule ahead. I don't want to beat my chest too loud, but man, oh man, are there some teams on the outside looking in. I am definitely looking at you, Michigan. Do you have a chance? They're as much underrated as much as I feel Clemson is overrated, but it is the road less traveled. And the ACC appears to be the path of least resistance if you're a Clemson Tiger fan. All that and more. Make sure you subscribe. You can always get what ODB would be talking about if you catch me early in the morning filling up at my favorite Phillips 66 or catching a little breakfast bite before I get the day started. You can get that ahead of time. However, you get your information, you can get at me on Twitter at DB. It's really at Damon Benning, but you guys always say DB. So that's what I say. Spotify, Apple, whatever works for you. I'm your guy. Make sure you subscribe. It's Benning's Bites.